Hey, good day. This is another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Try to keep it quiet because we got, a little one here and it's all good. Today, I want to go back and go over some more of Joe's Biden wiggity whack, black agenda. We recently went over what he calls the Lift Every Voice plan, and we realized that this Lift Every Voice plan, they're trying to play on an old Negro spiritual that was used in the civil rights movement that really emboldened and gave courage to black people to fight through this civil rights movement. He want to use this as a title as his plan and make it look like a black agenda when it's really everybody agenda. Yeah, that's right. This diabolical, maniacal, con artist. That's right. Trump ain't the only con artist running for office. This guy is a con. He's trying to use you to help other people get what you need. We need a true black agenda that exclude everybody. I'm sorry, people. I love you. But we have more desperate needs than anybody else. We have been in here since day one. We're not immigrants. We didn't migrate here. We were dragged here. Some was conned, some was dragged. We are abused and used for profit. This country and white society got filthy, stinking rich on free labor. And I guess when you start to realize that we really were people too, that we weren't just property, that we're very intelligent, have a mind and a will, that we help you become rich. As you continue to collect your money, you didn't do nothing for us. Maybe gave us a higher position or something like that, but you didn't make us partners. An American dream was built on the back, blood, sweat, tears, and fears of the American descendants of slaves and slaves in general. Witty invention, cunning ideas helped build this country. Majority of it came from black thought, stolen from black people for their own profit. But yet people want to come around and try to make it seem like we're the worst things in the world. Every statistic that come out about sickness and disease, they try to make it seem like we get the worst of it. I don't care if it came from China. Black people get it hard. Who told you that lie? Who told you that? We get it no different from anybody else. White people, there's one thing you can say. Outside of the money, you're no different from anybody else. You sit on the toilet and take a dunk like everybody else. You stand up and pee, or you sit down and pee just like everybody else. Your color don't make you be able to pee standing up, ladies. And your color don't make you be able to turn the opposite direction and pee one way and then turn around and turn around and go around you into the toilet. White brother, you're no different. Yet we put a lot of money in your freaking pocket, made you filthy, stinking rich, made you massive landowners, massive business owners. We tried to do the same thing, and we had to overcome every obstacle you can throw our way, every mountain that you put in front of us, and some of us still did it. And what do we get? What's the things we get? Oh, we'll find a reason to accuse you or fault you and go in and kill you and burn your town down or whatever because we don't like it. I'm not saying all white people did this. There's a lot of hateful white people that did do this. And my audience, we're going to go over soon about the Black Holocaust, something they don't teach you in school. Now, I'm not discounting the Holocaust of the Jews and the people that died in that and the horrible things they had to go through with the gas chambers or just being shot and thrown in a pit. But we had it worse. We had Black Holocausts going all over the places. We're being killed just for walking down a pathway, skipping, having a good time, walking down a pathway, and our daughters would get picked up and raped and killed. Severed, head severed off their body. We're going to go on that in the future. But you're going to tell me we don't need a real black agenda, that we got to share our black agenda with everybody else that came in here, who weren't foundational slaves, who weren't here because they were dragged here, who came as a result of us building an American dream for them? That you wouldn't have never been interested in coming to America if it wasn't for what we did? Blacks and whites built this country, but majority of the labor came from blacks. And a lot of time, majority of the intellectual labor came from blacks. That white people, since you're my property, we can make money off that. I'm not gonna give you none, but I'm gonna make a lot. You're smart. Let's do that. I'm going to get rich. You're not, but I am. And we don't deserve a black agenda to cater to our black people that's going to lift black people up out of this poverty set. You really think that we're not going to keep talking about this? Just like Medicare for all, Green New Deal and all that. Some of you people are saying, if you don't support that, I'm not voting for you. No black agenda, no support for reparation. We're not supporting you. Even if your name was Bernie Sanders. Get to this. I mean, I look at everybody. You're running for office. My community got some needs. Here are the needs. Nope, you don't tell me what we need. Who the hell you think you are to tell me what my community needs? No, I tell you what our community needs. Who are the people who gave Joe this whack behind agenda? Surely wasn't Simone Sanders. She couldn't even black agenda her way through a paper bag. She's done jumped on the feminist train. And she may have jumped on the LGBTQ train. Nothing against y'all. But we got different, more serious needs than you. We built this country, and we believe we should have equal rights in wealth and prosperity. And we're making demands for it, and we're willing to put our life on the line for it. Let's get into this agenda. By the way, I don't do this much up here, but I need to. My name is Robert Brown. How you doing today? Big Rob. And before you do anything, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit always. That way you'll know when a video is being popped up. As soon as I pop it up, whoop, there it is. And if you, you have it, because I know it's a tough time. If you have the ability to support the channel, by all means, go ahead and support the channel at paypal.me/BobTVNYC, all caps. Don't have it? Okay. Tough time, we're going to get through it. Now, I live in New York. And when it comes to the coronavirus, as you see, I don't take no chances. So I'm Gucci down, I'm masked down to the sock. And I even go down, take it a little further. You ain't gonna get that stuff in my face, baby. All right, so let's get into it. Now this is gonna be a couple of part series, so just hang in there with me. Okay, people, please. Alrighty. Lift Every Voice plan, Joe Biden. Now we stopped here where it said improve and expand Small Business Administration program that effectively support African American owned businesses. But wait, that's the bullet point. That's in highlight to make you think that they're doing this for African American owned businesses. But let's read. The Small Business Administration, SBA program have been and remain one of the most effective ways of accessing capital for African American owned business. Biden will strengthen these existing programs. How? Ensuring SBA has the funding it needs to support African American owned business and others. And others. And others. Anytime you put others in a black agenda, it is not a black agenda. It is not a plan for black Americans. You're being hoodwinked, bamboozled, lied to. He's using this to secure the black vote. That's all this is. And he's trying to secure the black votes of those who made a decision to dissent, to back off. Look, Puff Daddy didn't started this, that this is a, you know, you're not doing nothing for the black people. This is a business transaction. It's always been a business transaction, Puff Daddy. Where you been, Mr. Vote or Die? No, sometimes you got to say no vote because you're dying. And you got to stop giving these people the power to kill you off because they're not doing nothing for you. You got to choke them off with your vote. No vote. Every time you give them a vote and they don't do nothing for you, you give them oxygen to continue to go another 10, 20, 30, 40 years to not do nothing for you. Every time you give your allegiance to a party, it is the same thing, black people. Who told you you had to be a part of the Democrat or Republican Party? Well, I'm not part of the party. The Republicans going to take over. Who told you that lie? He who has my agenda and willing to make it happen, I don't give a crap what party they're in. Others. Others in the current crisis and beyond. Trump has once again proposed a massive cut of 25% in the SBA budget of FY 2021, including 35% cut in funding of small business development centers, a 20% cut of SBA microloan programs, and significant increased fees of 7A loan programs, which the SBA main loan program for small businesses. Who is this going to be? African American owned business and others. And others. That's like saying, I love you, but. Making permanent arrangements. Making permanent the successful Community Advantage loan program. Community Advantage loan program sound like something for the black community, right? Originally created during the Obama Biden administration. This black man did this. The program, which provides capital for startups and growing small businesses located in particularly underserved communities through CDFIs and other missions-driven leaders, has been run as a pilot program since 2011. Biden will make this program permanent and reverse rules enacted by the Trump administration that are making it more difficult for lenders to participate in the program to lend to African American owned business and other businesses located in underserved communities. So in other words, we're going to pay white people, we're going to pay some Asians, we're going to pay some, you name it, we're going to pay them to start businesses in the black community. How about you just give a black community money to start business in the black community? Let us build our own community. Are you going to give us money to build money in the white communities? Will you give us the loans to build businesses in white communities? No. Only in black communities. But not only that, if you're black and you're going to build in your community, guess what? I'm going to help other people build businesses in your community. That is not black empowerment. Well, it'll give you some jobs. Yeah, you give black people the money to build businesses in their community so they can hire their people. Just like they do in Chinatown. You don't see a lot of black people working in Chinatown. You see a lot of Asian people working in Chinatown. And I'm not dissing that. You should be able to support your own community first. And guess what? Every color go to Chinatown to do business. How come every color can't come to Blacktown and do business? Black people couldn't come to Whitetown and do business. So no, it basically saying Joe Biden want to implement this program to have everybody come into a community that's a community, undeserved community. What the hell is an undeserved community? Let me keep going. Increase opportunity of African American owned business to obtain or participate in federal contracts. Increase opportunity for African American owned businesses to obtain or participate in federal contracts. So this is basically saying, if you're an African American owned business, we're going to increase your opportunity to participate in these federal contracts. In the aftermath of 2000-2009 financial crisis, well over $100 billion of federal prime contracting dollars were awarded to minority-owned businesses. And between 2013 and 2016, the Obama-Biden, he loves to use that now, it's really the Obama administration, but he's trying to tie his name to it, trying to get some credit for what Obama did when he didn't do nothing but play sideline. The Obama-Biden administration, do they ever call it the Clinton-Gore administration? The Trump-Pence administration? No, it's the Trump administration. It's the Obama administration. He's trying to ride the coattail of Barack Obama. That's a short coattail, but he's trying to ride it. The Obama-Biden administration increased federal prime contract dollars going to small disadvantaged businesses by nearly 30%. See, they ain't got no color to it. That went to disadvantaged businesses by nearly 30%, from $30.6 billion to $39.1 billion. The Obama administration also created an interagency task force on federal contracting opportunities for small businesses, which include a focus on contracting opportunity, here we go, for minority-owned business. That is not black. Blacks are not the only minority in America. So in other words, Obama was giving all these loans to everybody. Guess who got less loans than most people? Black people. The Obama administration implemented its vision of more equitable access to federal contract through a variety of channels, including by launching the Federal Procurement Center, FPC, as part of the Commerce Department. Minority Business Development. Again, that's not black. Obama didn't start the Commerce Department Black Business Development Agency. This is minority. This means Arabs. This means Jews. This means Italians. This means Scott Irish. Wherever you feel that you're a minority, you get to participate in this. It's not about white either. It's about where you come from. The FPC, the first of its kind program, helped minority, here we go again, that don't mean black, minority-owned firms apply for and win federal government contracts. As President Biden will build on these efforts to support the expansion opportunity for minority-owned small business. This is the same freaking whack mess that Donald Trump and his Trump Urban Initiative. We're going to give you money if you come open up businesses. We're going to call corporations from overseas to come open their plants in black communities. We're going to give money to those people. We're going to incentivize those people if they decide to open up their tire plant near a black community. Same thing. Didn't happen. I don't see it happening. Joe Biden's saying he's going to do the same thing. The key word is minority owned. It's not black. Don't get it twisted. And you need to get in this face if you ever see it. How come you want to, Joe Biden, why do you think black business is the same as minority business? Because it ain't. Well, blacks are a minority. Yeah, so are Arabs. So when you say minority, we're going to give all this money to these minority-owned businesses, then you're taking away from black businesses. Because we're sharing the funding that we need to start our businesses to help us close this wealth gap, what you owe us. And you're sharing it with everybody. Now I can see if you're doing these loan programs, but you decide not to call it loan with us because you owe it to us. You think Joe Biden's really going to give you reparations when he's not even going to give you pay back the ability to get a loan without worrying about payback? Every politician that's running for office always want to talk about they want to give money to the black community, whether it's this, whether it's that, and it always a loan. We're going to give a loan. We're going to give you money for a home. We're going to give you money to start a business. We're going to give you money for this. We're going to give you money to that. And most of the time, it's just a loan. No, how about give me my money that you owe me and my ancestors? Y'all been living off us for over 300-400 years now. For free. Increased funding for minority business. Here we go again. That doesn't mean black. Increased funding for the Minority Business Development Agency budget. MBDA plays a critical role in supporting the development and growth of minority-owned businesses. That doesn't mean black. Around the country, as well as provide needed assistance to federal and state agencies so that they award minority-owned business. Now, how in the hell we go from lift every voice, the Biden plan for black America, now everything that's coming out of your freaking mouth is minority-owned business. So he started off talking about for black Americans, and then he started talking about African Americans, and now he's ending his whole program with minority-owned businesses and others. And others. Now I lost where I was supposed to be at. This thing is long. That's why it's going to take me some time to go through this. Increased funding for minority-owned business development agency budgets. MBDA plays a critical role in supporting the development and growth of minority-owned business. That ain't black. Around the country, as well as provide needed assistance to federal and state agencies so that they award minority-owned businesses procurement contract. The Trump administration has pushed for a 75% cut in MBDA budget. Biden would protect and call for the increased funding for it. So Biden want to increase the funding for Jews, Asians. This ain't a black plan. It's masked as a black plan. This ain't no different from what Bernie Sanders probably would have did. Because Bernie Sanders' policies are all people, and that's okay after black people get what they're supposed to get. I know some of you don't like that, but no. This country need to pay up. This country will never go any further until they do right by the black people, black Americans. American descendants are saved. Until this country do them right, this country will continue to get cursed. Protect small advantage businesses from federal state contracts, bundling, which often locks out African American. Now we're going back to African American. See, he'll put the bold blueprint and have it say African American. But when you get in the middle of the main parts of the policy, it goes to minority-owned business. This fool, this con artist, this scammer, even Donald Trump didn't even stoop this low, and he is a con artist to the heart. This guy's trying to con you, and anybody that's black running in his administration, the Simone Sanders and the Bakari sellouts and all these people, they're allowing Obama, allowing Biden to hoodwink and bamboozle you. You see, if I wasn't a Christian man and I didn't love all people, If I was to see these people, because I've met these people before. I've met Simone Sanders. I actually had coffee with Simone Sanders in Brooklyn. And that's when she was on the Bernie Sanders campaign. She seems kind of sweet. And, she ain't the person that back then, she was not the person that she is today. She grown up too fast and became more vicious too fast. It's all about her now and her political positions and her political career. She was a helper. Now she's trying to help herself. But these type of people like this that try to hoodwink and bamboozle, it make me want to do what Tupac did when he left out of court. Start spitting on people. See, these are the type of people that make you want to spit on them because they're allowing this white supremacist to use them like Mr. Candy did Stephen to hoodwink you and thinking that you're getting a good deal. When you're not, when this deal is really not for you, it's really for everybody. You're going to get the lowest end of this deal like they always do. Shame on them. And I get lost in here. Increase opportunity for African American owned business to participate in federal contracts. So every time we go into this, it start off as black and then it end up being all people. Protecting small to disadvantaged businesses from federal state contract bundling, which often locks out African American owned smaller firms from effectively bidding and procuring contract. Biden will build on the anti-bundling provision of the Small Business Job Act of 2010 by having the Office of Management and Budget SBA and BDA conduct a government-wide review of existing contracts bundling to determine whether agencies are following existing rules and whether agencies have the ability to further ensure small businesses participating in the federal and state procurement opportunities. Next phrase. Make sure economic relief because of COVID-19 reaches African American businesses that need it most. The first installment of the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, largely left out minority-owned businesses. The Center for Responsible, who fault is that, Joe? Because you can't put that on Trump. This is something that the House and the Senate supposed to work on. It's something that Democrats caved on as well as Republicans, and they sent it to Trump desk and he signed it. Trump ain't doing much of nothing but signing stuff. He's not doing any policy making. The Center for Responsible Lending estimates that more than 90% of small businesses owned by people of color, here we go again, not black, will not receive loans. The program is not taking into the account of specific challenges that African American businesses, now we're talking black, faces in accessing funding and complying with the program's requirement. The financial institution best positioned to help African American small business, black, don't have the systems to quickly deploy the funding in the first come, first serve approach. Who fault is that, Joe? Is that black people's fault? No, that's the system fault. The second phase sets aside $60 billion for community banks and CDFIs as well as mid-sized banks, which can better serve smaller businesses and minority-owned firms. This is a good start, but more needs to be done. So here we go again. Joe Biden, in his policy, talk about African-American businesses, and what need to be done is money need to be given, but we need to give it to minority-owned firms. How? You don't think people are smart enough to see this, man? You lying, pathetic mother. You want to talk about African American, then when it get down to what you're going to really do, you're going to do this for minorities, Latinos, people from Guyana, people from other parts of the world get to come here and get some of this money, and most of this money is not going to black people that's already been here. This dude, man, this dude is ruthless, man. He's a ruthless con. I mean, I saw Catch Me If You Can in the con game that he got going on. This dude is a ruthless con trying to con black people. That's why I'm here going over this, because I'm telling you he's conning you. Just like I told you Donald Trump was conning you with that Trump and Urban Initiative. It was a con game, and it did nothing for black community to this day. Joe Biden is trying to secure the black vote just like Trump is trying to secure the black vote with this fake and fraud, fake behind black agendas. You start off talking about African American, then you get in the middle of the freaking plan. It goes from African American to minorities. Liar. But it's up to you to catch it. It's up to you to be smart. I'm not the smartest man in the world. Lord knows I'm not. But I do have some kind of wisdom to be able to see stuff. And I see this man is conning us left and right in this thing. Most of these things, he's talk a good game. The bullet point, the title is a black agenda, and the bullet points is African American. But then when you get in the meat of the matter of what's being given out, it's given out to everybody but white people. But if you're white and you're going to do your put your business in the black community, we're going to give you that money too. How about you just give the money to black people? How about just do a black agenda and stop adding everybody else in our agenda? And how about black people, you stand strong and say, look, until you give us a black agenda, we're not voting for you, dude. Put some pressure on them and stop giving these people a free election. $60 billion. The financial institution best positioned to help African American small business don't have the system to quickly deploy the fund in the first come, first serve approach. The second phase set out $60 billion for community banks and CDFIs, as well as mid-sized banks, which can better serve small businesses and minority-owned firms. People understand minority mean anybody that's not white. That doesn't mean black. Now tell me that ain't a hoodwink. Let's go on these bullet points. Like I said, this is going to be 4 parts because I'm about to stop once I get through these 3 bullet points. Provide African Americans, entrepreneurs, and other small business owners technical assistance to help them apply for funding, as well as legal and accounting support to ensure their documentation, such as their financial records, tax filing, and other legal documents, is all in correct order. In other words, we too dumb enough to do it ourselves. So we're going to help you. That's okay. The Trump administration and Congress should provide an additional infusion of operating capital to these CDFIs and community-focused lenders to ensure all African American entrepreneurs have access to technical assistance and support they need. Bullet point number 2, reserve half of all the PPP funds for small businesses with 50 employees or less, so the bigger and more well-connected aren't able to win in a first-come, first-served race. While this will help the vast majority of small businesses, it should also help target more funding to minority-owned businesses, not black. Minority-owned business mean those Chinese people, Arabs, Jewish people. Giving 98%, you see that 98% of all minority and women-owned businesses who have fewer than 50 employees. So it went from black to we're giving majority of this money to anybody but black. I mean, blacks is going to be in there, but in other words, the money he's claiming that he's only going to be doing for black people is actually going to everybody that's not white. See, what you do when you get a contract signed, you do not sign the contract unless you have your attorney take a look at it. I don't care if it's a membership to a gym. Have your attorney take a look at it. That's why I have a service called Legal Shield. By being a member of Legal Shield, I can fax all my contracts to the attorney. The attorney will make sure whether it's really for me or not. Here I am. I'm acting as attorney, and I'm letting you know that this so-called black agenda starts off with African American, but when you look deep into the bullet points, it's minority-owned businesses and others. So if a white woman who is considered a minority in America wanted to start a business, they'll give that loan money to that white woman quicker than they'll give it to you, black brother or black sister, because she's considered a minority. If a gay person wants to start a business, they'll be able to get it through our black agenda quicker than we'll get it, because he's a minority. This is the last one and I'm done. We're not done with this whole thing. There's so much bull BS in this thing. It's going to take me a while to go through this. It's like, I don't know what he did. He had an elephant just take a dunk and he took a pen and stuck it in the elephant dunk and wrote this plan. This is full of BS. Produce a weekly dashboard to show which small businesses are accessing loans. Such a dashboard will help drive better data collection on the beneficiaries of small business support related to COVID-19 epidemic. My point is, why are we tying a black agenda to COVID? They already done told you that lie that black people get it worse and Latinos get it worse than whites. Who in the hell told you that lie, and what fake data they put out they behind to convince you that that's true? How in the hell a disease that come from China that came to the United States through Europe, which is mostly white, end up killing mostly black people? Get out of here with that stuff. Including, in particular, collecting data by gender and race. See, remember what I said? Minority does not mean black. There's so many people that fall under the category of minority. The LGBTQ community is a minority community. Now, a lot of them white, but they get to claim minority status because they're white and gay. That's stealing from you. Nothing against you. If you watch me and your LGBTQ, I got nothing but love for you. Not that love. I love women, but I still got love for you, unconditional love. You're taking away, they're allowing you to take away from a true black agenda. Joe Biden need to have a real black agenda. This is not a real black agenda, and y'all need to be in his face about developing a real black agenda if he want to get the black vote. Everything is not just about Trump. He is a danger, but you are too. They're going to tie this to COVID-19 when we should have been had a black agenda. It said including a particular collecting data by gender, by race, in order to ensure that the program isn't leaving out communities, minority and women-owned businesses, or the smallest business. Now I'm going to stop there. Guys, you need to get in contact with your congressman. This ain't no game, man. I'm sick and tired of these politicians thinking that they can just trick us. And a lot of times we lend them. We lend them. Black people. Because we let the media Hollywoodize, and that's not a word, but it will be today, Hollywoodize these politicians. We see Joe Biden that he was with Obama, the coolest president man since sliced bread, and we figure he cool too. No, he got a makeover thanks to Obama. He got a makeover. I told you the reason Obama picked him. Obama didn't even pick him. His advisors chose Joe Biden because there was a bunch of states that Barack Obama, as a black man or half black, half white man, whatever you want to call it, he could not win those states. He could not win the Rust Belt. He could not win farm country. Those people are the type of people that don't want to see a black president person president, but they know Hillary Clinton wasn't going. They didn't want Hillary Clinton. They didn't want John McCain. So a lot of them twisted in their thinking ain't no way a black man's going to survive 4 years. If they get him out the way, at least we'll get Joe Biden. And that was a smart move to get Joe Biden to win those states. And that was a smart move for those idiots who actually thought that a Barack Obama wouldn't do 8 years. And Lord knows, Joe Biden, with his right mind, his mind is not right. Joe Biden getting old. He's like grandpa. He's got to the point where he can't drive no more. You got to take the keys away from him. This man can't even get off the stage without his wife helping him. He's Reagan, during Reagan last year's in office. Reagan last year in office, he wasn't doing anything. His wife did mostly everything. He wasn't doing anything. But black people, you haven't looked at this man's record. You haven't looked at his past. You blame all these things that's going on the Republicans, and a lot of them are because Republicans, Democrats came together on this crime bill. Joe Biden was the one that whipped up the votes for the crime bill. Joe Biden, the one stood on the Senate floor and talked about black people like a dog in order to get them Republicans and Democrats to sign that crime bill and get Bill Clinton to sign it off as law. And it's still affecting black people today. A lot of the laws like stop and frisk and stand your ground laws came off of that policy of Joe Biden. The reason that people feel like they can kill a lot of black people right now with those stand your ground laws came as a result of the crime bill of Joe Biden. Joe Biden don't apologize for it. He says his crowning achievement, his greatest success, and he don't regret. Now we got overran prisons, got black people being pimped off, being worked like a dog for pennies on the dollar to create products in the private prison system and not getting paid for it. You got black people going out there killing themselves in forest fires from the private prison system, thanks to his policy. Now, don't get me wrong, Trump is a bad, don't let me get on Trump. I can get on Trump. I'm talking about Joe Biden. See, my thing is, I already know the Republicans are no good. I don't support, there's probably like 2 Republicans I like. Most of them are dog crap. I wouldn't support them to save my life. But what I'm saying is you sitting up there thinking that the enemy is really your friend. No, there's white racist bigots in the party, but the key is they're low key. They on the down low. They act like they're your friend, and at the same time they stabbing your back. And they sitting up here getting you to do all this work for them, and they haven't done nothing for you in the last 20, 30, 40 years. And you keep putting them in office. I got to put somebody in office. You ain't got to give these fools the power. Sometimes you need to tell these idiots no. As long as you show your allegiance to these people, and as long as you give them what they want, they'll never give you what they want. You have to turn the tables on them. I'm not showing you any allegiance, and I'm not giving you what you want until you give us what we want. You work for me. I don't work for you. I pay you. You don't pay me. And here this con artist that black people overwhelmingly voted over Bernie Sanders, and that's Bernie Sanders' fault. I told Bernie Sanders at the beginning, you need to spend quality time in the black community, you need to listen to them, and you need to find out what they need. Stop trying to tell them what they need like Joe Biden telling them. Stop telling them what they need and let them tell you what they need, and you make it part of your platform. Until then, you're going to lose the black vote. They're going to go with Biden because he's convenient. He's comfortable. When they see Biden, they see Obama. And a lot of them actually think Obama's going to be advising him in office. That's the dumbest thing in the world. That man ain't going back to no White House just because Joe Biden's there. Get out of here. And you say people thought Bill Clinton was going to advise Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton ain't advising Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton run Bill Clinton. Get out of here. Anyway, guys, I'm done. I'm telling you, look. Stop letting these politicians fool you. Find out about their policies. Find out what they're pushing. Find out what they're all about. Find out what they did in the past. Find out what they're doing now. Find out what they're advocating in the future. Shame on you if you don't. Shame on you if you go vote for these people. You don't know nothing about them. That's what you call a slut voter. I stopped being, let me stop. My slutty days was over when I was 24, man. I wasn't running women like I used to. And I got serious, man. I ended up getting a girl pregnant, man, and I had a child on the way, and it changed me. No more slutting days. And that's how I got about my vote. I'm not giving these people my vote. My vote, you got to earn it, baby. You want it, come get it. You gonna earn it. I'm not just giving it up. You're gonna earn it. Black people, stop giving it up and make this people earn it. This man is lying to you in this bill. We're not done. We're not done. We got part 3 coming up probably in the next 2 days. But I mean, share this video to everybody, man. I mean, politicians say I got a black agenda, and they start talking about the bullet points of the black agenda, and y'all get happy. Oh, snap. He said he gonna do this. He gonna do this, that for. Nah, he ain't doing that for you. Keep reading. How about download it off the website and read it? And you'll find out he ain't doing that for you. He doing that for everybody. You probably gonna get the latter end of it because he's gonna give it to everybody first. Stop being conned. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Peace. Good night. I'm going to bed.